Support for WXAV 88.3 is being provided by Northwest Community Credit Union, located on campus inside the Graham School of Management. The credit union provides its members with a variety of financial products and services to help them achieve their financial goals. Members can access services and bank on NWCCU's mobile app. For more information, visit their website at nwccu.com or call them at 1-800-2BELONG.
Bookies New and Used Books is a supporter of WXAV 88.3 FM and WXAV.com. Located at 10324 Southwestern Avenue in Chicago, Bookies offers a selection of new and used books with orders available for books not currently in stock. For more information, visit their website at bookiesbookstores.com.
This is a WXAV 773 Sounds podcast, introducing you to the best local bands in the Chicagoland area.
Hi, this is Peter Kreten from 773 Sounds here on WXAV 88.3 FM Chicago, your escape from ordinary radio. And I'm really excited because this week's featured artist of the week is a band that we've been spinning a lot over the last few weeks. It is Way to Go Radio, that perfect dance indie rock pop band that is this great combination of the Arctic Monkeys, the Flaming Lips, and just a sprinkle of Daft Punk. And I'm really excited because we have one of the members from Way to Go Radio here with me. We have Tom Hultsch. Tom, how are you today?
Good. Peter, how are you, man? Thanks for having us.
Oh, my pleasure, man. So let's kind of go all the way back to the beginning. Can you tell me a little bit about how Way to Go Radio kind of started?
Yeah, we were another band for years. We're like a pop punk band. And my brother and I, he used to play drums in that other band as well. We got together when we were like 15 years old with some members, and we started this band for years. We played like Warped Tour, did a bunch of stuff with that band, but then it never really popped off. And we wanted to reinvent because what we were doing just got a little stale. So as we had the opportunity to reinvent everything, we started bringing in more synths and samples and technology. We ditched the whole band, the old band, buried everything so you couldn't find it. And we just started from scratch and decided to call it Way to Go Radio instead.
Oh, man, that's awesome. So you talked about bringing in like synth music and all these different instruments. What were kind of some of your inspirations when you were putting Way to Go Radio together?
I always loved bands like Phantogram, Phoenix, Coin. Funny you said Daft Punk as well. I don't know if I said Young the Giant yet, but any of those alternative bands that like would add a lot of, synthesizers and stuff in there to make everything fresh. I think around the time Mind Over Matter was a big deal, and that had a big influence on us by Young the Giant, their second record.
Yeah, that's a really fantastic record. Now, really, really exciting news. You guys just dropped a brand new record, and I love the title. It's called Verbal Tuxedo, and it's your first new record in a couple of years. Walk me through the process about how you guys went about, recording it, what some of the inspirations are.
Yeah, so we had started the first Way to Go Radio album, Barriers, was released during COVID, and it basically got completely shut down. So we had this record that we worked on for 3 years. We were doing I'll never forget it, radio interviews, and I remember we were in a station downtown, and in the background we started to see people kind of run around and panic, and it was the shutdown. So
wow.
It was, I'll never forget it. So we were looking at each other like, okay, well, this record we just spent, all this effort on, it just sat. And then because we were doing promo stage and not really touring yet, everything got backlogged for like a year and a half. So by the time we were going to go play out on the album, it was old. So we had to start all over again. So my brother, who was the drummer that had played, with me since 15, just was like, dude, nothing personal. I'm kind of wiped and I don't want to do this anymore. So I was like, okay. So there was another band I recorded back in the day in my recording studio, and they had just separated. So I grabbed and snagged Joe, the drummer. He at first just did session work, because he was like, we're just talking about you the other day, man. I was like, well, funny, I need a drummer. He's like, I need a band. So he came back in. We called it Verbal Tuxedo because I had gotten out of I don't know, personally want me to get, but it's fine. I got out of a relationship of 10 years. It ended abruptly during that same time.
Oh, wow.
And I had wrote a whole nother record that was pretty jaded and dark. And as I just to kind of expel all the demons, so to speak. So then when I got done with it, I listened to it and I was like, this is not what I would listen to get myself out of this funk. And I don't want to put other people in the same dark mind space that I was in. So I threw it all away and I started over with in mind. I wanted to make people feel good. So there was a lot of trash. I could have talked about a lot of situations, but I took the high road, and that's why we called it Verbal Tuxedo, because I didn't mention any of it, and I was just like, "Hey, man, it is what it is," and we all moved forward instead. So,
listening to this album, it is so good, and I find myself where I do automatically just starts dancing because the beats and the drums and the lyrics. I mean, this is like great party music, dancing music, things like that. So I'm really curious about your approach. So when you're writing a song, do you start with the lyrics, or are you working with melody first and then build the song from there?
A lot of times it comes with melody. So whether that would be, usually it's me and an acoustic guitar. And then what ends up happening is I will find ways to reinvent those guitar chords. Like on a song like Teenage Summer, I was like, okay, like how can I make these major 7 chords sound different? And then I went into synthesizers and we kind of create our own samples. We don't really ever sample anybody else's stuff, but that was the next step. It was like that main riff on the keyboard for Teenage Summer stemmed from a guitar, but then as soon as it turned into like a keyboard riff, I was like, aha. And then the rest of it, I usually write all the music first, and then the lyrics and vocal melody come afterwards.
Oh man, that's awesome. And that's actually one of my favorite tracks off the record. The other one that I really love is Goodbye Butterfly. That is a really great track. Can you talk to me a little bit about, your approach for writing that song?
Yeah, so it's crazy. So it's a long story short, but like I said, it's all about like positivity and moving forward instead of sitting in that old situation. I had taught music for years, and this is a wild situation. A girl that I had taught music with forever just reached out as a friend to see who I was post breakup with the other situation, and then we started dating. And then fast forward like 4 years later, we're engaged, which is insane.
Oh,
so,
dude, congratulations!
Oh, thanks, brother. Thank you. And that's how my parents met. So my dad was going through divorce back in the day, and him and my mom both taught piano in Oregon together. And they met in a similar situation where my mom was just my dad's friend. They taught at a place in Lombard, and then they, were friends at first, and then they got married. So it was weird. There's all these parallel situations. So that tune, when we first started dating, I had gone through a lot of stuff. So I was kind of like, I had a lot of healing to do. So when we first started playing, it was me kind of telling her I don't really need the space that a normal person does, because I didn't skip any steps. I kind of just went the hard route and ripped the Band-Aid off. I didn't drink feelings away or hide from stuff. So there was a little spell where there was a little bit of a gap between me and her hanging out. And that was me kind of writing a song to the new lady I was seeing, just being like, hey, if this is going to end, it's going to end, but it's not really in a bad light or situation. And then it worked out because we stayed together anyways. But yeah.
Oh, man. That is a great story and everything. And the parallels. So,
oh, thanks, brother.
So it sounds like music has really been a part of your life, almost since the beginning, with both of your parents being musicians.
Yeah, both my parents, I remember being in kindergarten listening to Elton John and the Bee Gees late at night when my dad was playing it on organ, and my mom played, and then my brother plays and teaches drums still. So our whole family's been music. And then, like I said, my fiance plays and teaches classical piano and violin. So it's all music all the time. Yeah. So it's wild. It's cool.
That's really cool. So I got to ask, because I'm a music geek too and everything. What inspirations, when you're going home, who are you throwing on your turntable?
Right now, it's usually kind of all over the place. Like I said, I love Coin. I love the new Fantagram album, Yum the Giant. I'm into the Neighborhood, believe it or not.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's I listen to a lot of new stuff, and I still go back. Phoenix is a huge inspiration. I love Phoenix.
Yeah.
They're one of my favorite bands. And I think we took a lot from them, like you were saying earlier, on just trying to make people dance with our new album, Verbal Tuxedo. I know we were leaning kind of hard into them and Glass Animals for this record.
But it's great because it's such a great sound, and it really helps you guys stand out, because there isn't a lot of bands that are trying to emulate like Phoenix or Phantogram or things like that. But when you hear it, it's just like, it's just absolutely fabulous. I'm speaking with Tom from Way to Go Radio.
Oh, thanks, brother. Big praise. That's awesome.
Oh, no, my pleasure, man. Thank you. If people want to like check you guys out, where can they find you on social media and everything?
Yeah, so you can find us at Way to Go Radio on Instagram. It's all the same on all the platforms. Way to Go Radio is pretty, not a common name. And then as far as waytogoradio.com, and then the new album Verbal Tuxedo, you can find on all the streaming platforms. It's everywhere. So anywhere you listen to music.
So be sure to just type in Way to Go Radio into Spotify. Yep. Apple, everything, you can check it out. Now, you also have a gig coming up on November 14th. You're going to be at Pollyanna's in St. Charles, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's going to be a lot of fun because we hadn't played out since before COVID because everything got shut down. And we don't really cut our teeth. Like, I never wanted to write songs or work songs out live. Like, we usually do that in the rehearsal space in the studio, and then we go promote them.
Okay.
So we hadn't played out in a long time because we worked on back-to-back records because of what happened with COVID. So yeah, I'm excited. It was supposed to start out as we usually would just play downtown in the city, and somebody was like, hey, why don't we do like a warm-up show close to home, just kind of as like a little warm-up show. Well, then that turned into something kind of big, and I guess now they're bringing like 3 cameras and shooting the whole concert. So no pressure.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, thanks.
That's really fabulous. And then the address is 106 South Riverside Avenue. It's from 7 to 10 p.m. on November 14th. You can see Way to Go Radio. For those who haven't seen you guys live yet, what can we expect other than a ton of dancing and a lot of good vibes?
Yeah, we really pride ourselves in like band tightness and a show. So it's like we try to sound as much like the record as you possibly can. All the guitar effects and everything have been meticulously programmed. Same with vocal effects. Like, it sounds just like the record. Big light show. And then I usually wear this is an interview that's not a video, but I wear these glasses all the time that just have images that splash across my face. So that's kind of cool because it's like walking around with an LED screen on your face, and those are all programmed to change song to song. So really cool visuals, and it's kind of a tight sound.
That sounds awesome. So be sure
Thanks.
to go check them out. November 14th, out at Pollyanna, 106 South Riverside Avenue, Way to Go Radio. Now, Tom, as we've been talking and everything, we've been saying a lot about COVID. From your perspective, I mean, the COVID's had a huge impact on the Chicago local scene. Are we still feeling the effects from COVID at all, or have we kind of passed it, or are the scars still there?
You know what's kind of weird? I was just telling my brother about this the other day. I was at the gym this morning, and somebody overheard me. They were just asking how the band was doing. I told them we had a show coming up. I kid you not. I had like 7 people come up to me, some that I don't even talk to. They're like, where's the show? When are you playing? I'm going to check it out. And I text my brother because we'd been doing this for a long time. I was like, I don't remember that thirst for live entertainment pre-COVID. I think the industry is still kind of recovering, but I feel like people want to get out. Like, they want to do stuff that's interactive and live,
Now, you've been a veteran of the local music scene for a very long time.
Yeah.
How would you grade the scene right now? How is the Chicago local scene at the moment?
What's kind of cool to watch is I taught guitar for years, and I've got some former students. One of them's like Matt Sandelin and a bunch of people that are touring around. And I never remember it being, I think this generation's got it right with they help each other out. It's way less competitive and is more of like I don't want to say family, but they cultivate relationships where when we were playing, it was not like that. It was like cutthroat competitive. You weren't there to help each other. You're there to crush the other bands. It wasn't like a family scene. It was super competitive. So I think they've got it right where it just feels a lot more fun and there's a lot less negativity in the scene now than there was before. And that's to the young musicians and new bands coming up, like, good for you guys, because it wasn't like that.
Yeah, no, it definitely wasn't.
Yeah.
Now, this is 773 Sounds, we're on a college radio station, so we're hitting a lot of young people and everything. Yep. What would you say to someone who they're listening, they want to get into local music, but there's a little bit of trepidation because there's that unknown factor and everything. How would you encourage them to get involved and support the local music scene?
I think that's like the fun part of it. Are you talking about a musician perspective or?
Both, as a musician, as a fan.
Okay. Yeah. As a fan, I think there's a lot of good music out there. And especially nowadays, I think what's like old is new again. Like you have so much at the grasp of your fingertips with technology, but sometimes like it's fun to like be a scout and go see these bands and experience them, in 360, not on your phone. And it's a whole different situation. So from a fan perspective, I think it's one of the best things you can do because there's a lot of really good up and coming artists out there right now. So just to go out there, I mean, we have people go to shows completely by themselves and there's nothing wrong with that. It's super cool. I go see comedians sometimes by myself if I can't get anybody else to go with me. I think it's more of, like we said earlier, a family environment. And for musicians, I think that like the trepidation of it is kind of the fun part. But it's hard to explain. You either have that in you or you don't. And it's even from a performer's perspective, like even us, we haven't played out since COVID. There's going to be a lot of pressure when we hit that stage. I'm feeling it, but I like it. And it's when I look at that crowd, there's something that you dial into, and I don't know if it's adrenaline, but it's like the superpower state. People call it the flow state, where like you're just in it and you're like in control and it's hard to explain. I think for a musician, like to rob yourself of doing that out of fear, it's not good. And what's the worst thing that's going to happen? Like, so what? You get up there, you mess up a little bit, or you fail. For a new musician, most people don't have the guts to even get up there and do it in the first place. Like, no regrets, man. Just play.
Yeah, don't worry about being awkward. Just go out there and have fun and everything. So.
Yeah, and sometimes that's your 100% legit style, and what's awkward to you might be where everyone's like, you got to see this band. Like, there's something about them. Like, everyone's got their own essence. It's cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. It's very cool. I'm with Tom from Way to Go Radio. Again, if people want to check you out on social media, where can they go and find you guys?
Just go ahead and anywhere you kind of like Google Way to Go Radio, Instagram and all those places. We're on everything that you could possibly be. Like we're at Way to Go Radio. We have waytogoradio.com. And then we're on all the socials is usually at Way to Go Radio.
So be sure to check them out, Way to Go Radio. The new album is called Verbal Tuxedo, and you can see them live November 14th out at Pollyanna's in St. Charles, 106 South Riverside Avenue from 7 until 10 p.m. Again, waytogoradio.com for more information. Tom, it's been a pleasure talking with you.
Absolutely, you too. And one more thing, that show, which is kind of cool about it, at the venue, it is a free show. So admission is completely free. So you can just get in for free. And then we're going to have, because of that situation, we're going to have T-shirts there that are nice and affordable. They're only $10. So and you don't have to get a shirt, just go to the show. But it's free admission. So it doesn't even cost anything to go to that show.
So it's even better, guys. Be sure go check it out. This great free show that's happening on November 14th. Again, Pollyanna's in St. Charles, 106 South Riverside Avenue. Tom, thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having us.
Thank you for listening to this WXAV 773 Sounds podcast. For more information on 773 Sounds, please visit our website, wxav.com.